listen. Welcome back. If you didn't notice, we have some friends here.
We're buzzing.
We're buzzing. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining today. The city of Denver is going up after that Game 7 finals win.
Outside of Phoenix is going up on this Saturday.
You can't tell me shit.
Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how you guys are feeling. If you don't know who our friends are, we have Will and Brendan on the show with us. They are co-hosts.
Will, Brendan. There we go. Did I
on the show, Sports
And we've officially been outed. No one's been able to know which of us are which.
Grew up on the south side.
You know what's so funny is you guys don't even know. Will and Grace and I couldn't figure out who was who until we had, or you guys went on the show and they were like, oh, that one's Will and that one's, and I was like, no, I thought it was the other way around.
It's been funny having my name just like out there and Brendan's just his sports shorts.
Yeah, I'm just sports shorts. I've been nameless thus far. It's okay.
Sporty.
Well, until now, so sorry. So sorry we ruined your Peter Parker moment. Anyway, guys, what a
he said it's okay.
Excuse my French. Fucking win for the Nuggets.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. How are we feeling, chat?
Oh,
that was I'm so speechless because there's so many thoughts going through my mind.
Did you actually, like, Brennan, you said it's over. He said it at one point.
Yes.
Over, and they were still winning by 4. So you actually thought they were going to lose.
Can I tell you what happened in that game?
I watched.
They were up by 22 points. Just listen. So Derek Jones Jr. at the 7:30 mark, he misses a stupid mid-range shot. Nuggets get the rebound. It's over at that point. It is over. The Clippers score on 10 straight possessions. And they miss one shot, and the only shot they miss, they get an offensive rebound and put it back. Denver scores, I think, 2 times in that entire 7-minute span. And it felt over. Yeah. It felt absolutely over. They had negative momentum.
Pass
there
of
was
the year.
Absolutely nothing there. And I was just
they collapsed. It was like a fully classic fourth quarter collapse, which is so funny because Kayla and I were texting, and it was at the point when we were up like by 20, and I texted her and I said, I love it here currently because I know how the Nuggets are, and I literally put currently, and she's dying laughing. Yep. And then literally not 10 minutes later, we collapse, and I'm like, this is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say currently, because I did love it here, and now I hate it here.
Yeah, my mom was at an auction tonight for a school in Colorado and everything. And she said that like everyone was talking after the third quarter and was like, we're up 20. And my mom was like, Caitlin doesn't like when that happens, because I'm like, we always give that away every time.
Any playoff up by 20, I don't want to see ever again.
Well, I talked about this when you guys came on our pod, but I said the magic number is 15. So I was feeling okay, but then the Clippers got to within 15, and I was like,
yep.
It's like, okay, it doesn't matter what's happened in this game. Like, they know it's possible. And that was under like 3 minutes, I think is kind of the cutoff. If you're up by 15 with 3 minutes left.
For sure.
Yeah.
But if it's any more than that, which they had like 7, I think, or 6.5 when they cut it to 15, I was just starting.
Yeah, there's too much time left on the clock.
Oh, way too much. Yeah, that I started getting so nervous because they had cut it to like 18, which I didn't love anyway. I was like, still don't like it. And then
one extra point? Absolutely not.
And then it just slowly started chipping away, and like you're looking at the clock and you're like, oh, there's like literally an eternity of time left.
It was going
in this
so
game.
slowly.
Yeah, I was playing that clock.
Jokic was the best player in the world for 3 quarters, and then
that
3
was one of
minutes
his
of
best
the fourth
games.
quarter. And then,
oh man!
And then he turns into like a turtle, just trying to like get the clock to and
he didn't.
They're
touch
trying
the
to
ball very much.
stall. I hate their stall offense. They're
when they're
stall
trying to
throw it
stretch the
away.
time.
Yeah.
They throw it away every time. They're not good at it. They're not
Jokic
good
said
at
it too.
protecting the ball when they need
Jokic
to.
was like, "Well, I was trying to
we know,
run
dude.
the clock." We're like, "We know. We're so aware, dude." And it was awful. It was painful. And then Jamal's
my
over here
goodness.
like mother effers 2 for 11, and I'm like, really, dude? Like this is what you got for me this whole night? I'm like, I feel like it's a Jokic and Murray like duo night. Like they're just gonna both have 30-point triple doubles, and then Jamal. Luckily, Jamal hit a couple big shots as he does, but we wouldn't have been in that predicament if he hadn't bricked all the others.
Yeah.
Just
Did
saying.
That
he
was
hit those shots
exactly-
after he. Sorry, go ahead, Kayla. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to say that's exactly how he was last year in the playoffs for us. It was like he would play like crap for like 3 straight quarters and then would be like, I'm here to save the day. You wouldn't have to save the day if you made 50% of your other shots, my guy. Okay, let's try making those next time, please. Okay?
He's healthy, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with him.
He should be.
He apparently was really sick in game 2,
Oh,
like
that's right.
with an
That's true.
illness, but he should be fine, is what everyone said.
They said that a lot of people have been getting food poisoning. A lot of guys from away teams have like been getting food poisoning. Everyone keeps getting this stomach bug where they're out for one game.
Luka was sick. Jamal
Yeah,
was sick.
Luka was like
Weird.
heaving on like the sideline
Yeah.
last
Yeah,
night.
he was like holding his chest and stomach the whole game.
I was like,
He
if
actually
I-
looked so miserable. He looked
I was
terrible.
like, if I have to see someone, listen, the last time I had food poisoning, I was laying on my bathroom floor for 10 full hours, calling my mom every hour, crying. I'm a 27-year-old woman, calling my mom crying. First, she's a nurse though, to be fair. So I'm like, please just help me. And Luka's playing a game like, you know what? Props to him, dude.
Yeah, I got food poisoning in Mexico. I thought I was dying. We were at this all-inclusive resort, and I went to like pick up the phone to see if there was like a doctor.
Like,
And
someone
it was a
help
toy
me.
phone in our resort. The phone didn't. So I thought
Stop
I
it.
really was like turned to my wife. I was
No,
like,
that's how it feels. You're like, somebody
I'm
save
dying.
me. It was this game, like it was hard to get excited at first because the first quarter started off very much like last first quarter where everyone's like, wow, our offense has started to like cook. They look like they're getting, it's like the past games, like we talked about on y'all's show, is that the offense, like while we've been getting shots, it's looked like painful. Like it looks so hard. And for the Clippers, it's looked so easy. And the last like 2 games, the beginning started off like, like firing on all cylinders, like teamwork, ball movement, everyone's kind of doing their part. And so that's why I was like a little bit worried because I was like, okay, well, like what happens with the substitution? Well, Vlatko Chanchar is
weird.
the first
So
sub
weird.
in. I was like, did Peyton Watson like piss in Coach's Cheerios? Like, what was that?
Why is
I could not
Vlatko
believe I
stepping
saw another white
near
man
the
on the
scores
basketball
table?
floor at that
I
point in
think
the
it
game.
was just like David Allen. Maybe he had a good practice. Are they even having?
He had a good
practice.
practice.
Even if
I
he had a
think they
good
have like
practice.
shoot arounds in the morning.
Yeah.
He made like
And they're
5
like,
threes in a
wow,
row.
Vlaco's making.
CT
That's
said
how
respect
desperate they
31.
He hit 26 free throws in a row, and Adelman's like, "You're in ball."
CT, shut
You're
Blanco was
in.
hot at shoot around this morning.
Vlaco was on fire today, so we just had to go with the guy that I put.
Check
I
my
had faith in.
mid-range.
And
Put me
immediately
in
comes
coach.
in,
CT respect 31 in the comments.
That's
Sorry.
why we're
Behind
cracking.
back and gets picked. And
My mom literally calls him
Hilarious.
Can't Car.
Listen,
Stop.
they're like, there's a chance Adelman looked like a mad scientist if that worked out. There really was. Like he hits a corner 3 or he gets a
Totally,
stop on Kawhi or
totally.
something, and it just didn't happen.
And everyone's
It
like,
just
what?
did
He
not
is
happen.
the answer to the series.
Yeah, and I feel kind of bad for him because I mean, no one feels comfortable in that situation.
I
no
think
matter
they
how
just
good they
draw
are.
straws to see who plays off the bench. Fair enough, man.
They're
Fair.
all-
For
At
the
this
Nuggets,
point-
that's how I would.
Oh my goodness!
What do you even do? And it was
I would
so
be like,
awful.
Hunter Tyson? Okay, go in for Jamal. Go for it. Good luck, kid.
You know what?
Hunter Tyson might be next. Let's be
I
honest.
think he is. I
Was
think he's
Edelman-
going to be the
like, do you
first
think
guy up.
He was just trying to be like, hey, let's throw a different guy in there and see if he makes a difference.
I think he was like, hey, this guy
Desperation.
connects with Jokic. These Europeans have some inner grit that Americans don't. I think he's going to play well in the playoffs.
Well, he's played in the Olympics. Like he's played in
Period.
big
Yeah.
games before. Like
Yeah.
he does have some
Totally.
like some professional experience.
Yeah,
where
he's
it
also been
matters a lot, but-
injured
I
for
know,
like
exactly.
the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe played in 10 games, like maybe 20 this year. Appears.
He needs to chill with all that
Yeah.
health.
If you guys remember, though, yes, 3 years ago, no, well, like 2.5 years ago, when the Nuggets won the championship that year, in the regular season, they had a stretch where he was playing a lot and playing super well.
Really
and the
well.
team went on that
Mhm.
huge run, winning streak. I think they won like 14 out of 16 games, and he was in the lineup consistently. And then
like
Sigh.
the stretch where Zeke Naji played really well this year. I mean,
how about that? Whatever
I still
happened-
believe in him. Give
are y'all
him minutes.
surprised that he hasn't gotten any minutes from David
I
Allen?
am.
Because
I am surprised.
I always thought that it was like Moach just hated him. It seemed like Moach hated him. So I was like, they always say, you know, when an assistant coach steps up, that usually, you know, they have their guys that they've watched and that they liked it, that the head coach might have not played. So I really am shocked that he hasn't gotten any runway at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think in the NBA there's as much of the I don't like this guy, so I'm not going to play him. I really do think
Yeah.
they are smart enough to play guys that play the best at the given time, and I just think he is so in his head. I think he's such a head case, and he
I believe
spark,
it.
you know, towards the end of the
Yeah.
season and played so good for like 2 weeks. His trade value was like skyrocketing, and then all was like, ooh, way down again.
I loved it though because anytime he made one shot, it was like Game 7 of the finals buzzer
That's
beater
so
for him.
true.
He was always
He's like
throwing
beating
it
Oh,
up.
his
yeah.
chest, like jumping in the air, and it's like a first quarter three. Like
The jump in the air is too much.
Yes.
You jump in the
Okay,
air
wait.
like
You
a
guys
kid.
want to know something funny? My very first 3 that I ever made in high school was absolutely like that. Okay, because like I had like I swear to God, I had like this like anxiety streak where I was like, I'm in high school now. I've got to make big shots. I'm a 14-year-old on this freshman team. Like this is big stuff. And I literally went like 3 games out of 3, and that's not like me. Like shoot or shoot, okay? And so it's like the 4th game, and I drained this 3, and I just threw up the field goal, and I ran backwards, and I literally punched my chest.
Not the field goal. Oh no.
Swear to God, 14-year-old me. Yeah, I was like, that's me.
That's hilarious.
I was on my 5th grade B team, however, and I got performance anxiety every time they
Depoy.
passed me the ball because I was like, well, it's all on me. This also happened to me in soccer when they put me in goalie.
It's all
I
on
started
me.
No, I started crying when we were losing the game because, like, I mean, it was my fault, but I was also 4, and I'm like, this is too much pressure. And then the next year, the coach's daughter, who is like played in college and was like amazing, she's like 6'5", she's like, oh, are you playing this year? And in my head, I was like, they want me back.
They need me. They need me.
Am I playing
I
this
mean-
year? You guys want me so bad.
If you've played basketball in front of any type of crowd, you know how actually like insane it is, how much it changes the way you play. Like
Oh
Will and
my
I have
gosh,
talked about this,
yes.
like our senior nights in front of our home crowd of like our 50 like high
Yes.
school friends, like there was never a time in our lives where you're more nervous, right? Imagine
There were
Imagine
thousands
this.
in that gym, dude.
Okay, yeah, there were a lot.
We
There
packed the house.
like
We packed the house.
Will's like, put some respect on
He
our
said
school.
we
Respect on my
packed the
name,
house.
boy.
That's true. But like, I mean, playing in front of 20,000 people. I know they do this for a living. I understand that, and they're professionals. They've been doing it for a long time. The playoffs are a different animal. Like they're a different
100%.
animal. And so I mean, putting Zeke out there, knowing
Yes.
how like,
Knowing he gets so in his head,
volatile
yeah.
he is
Any
as a player.
weakness is just
Yep.
like heightened by 10 in the playoffs. So
Totally.
That's how I feel about Julian. That's why I feel like Julian can't play because
Exactly.
Julian just is a shot chucker. Like that boy has never met a shot he does not like. And I'm like, when you're sharing the court with, and he doesn't share the court as much with Jokic, but when you're in the court with like Murray or someone, like you need to know that you're not the number one guy to be putting up the shot. Like you need to let it touch some other hands. And if it comes back to you, then create your shot. But I don't like when he just like decides that it's like 1-on-5.
He's like,
and
this is mine.
He's like, I'm taking it to the rack.
Yeah.
Well, and so like it's funny that you say that because that's exactly how I think. And on the same like plane as when like, you know, it's really easy to get in your head and start playing like crap. Like when you're not made for the moment, like you have guys like Steph Curry, Jokic, Jamal Murray, who like they take that and they build it. Yeah. Like they do so much with it. And it was really funny that you say like Julian Strother and stuff like that, because Steph Curry a couple weeks ago, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but Steph Curry was playing with Buddy Hield, and Buddy Hield took a shot when Steph Curry was open, and Steve Kerr grabs Buddy Hield and walks him over.
Let me introduce you.
Yeah, and he's like, let me introduce you to the greatest shooter of all time. Our friend, your teammate Steph Curry. And the next game, Buddy Hield. Dude, he had such a good game tonight, and I was like, thank you for that. Like, I was like, I will take back every piece of shit talk I have said about you over the last year just for you having a good game tonight.
No, that was so
funny.
funny.
Buddy's like, he's never played in the playoff, like a huge major playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like this is the first time in his career.
He's been rough. And Caitlin and I were so excited about him going to the Warriors because he seemed like such a perfect fit. And I wish you guys knew how many people were like, just wait. And we were like, oh, like whatever. Because then he had like the first like good month. And then after that, it was like tragedy. And I was like, oh, they were.
I was like, why didn't Denver go get Buddy Hield? Because he was playing unbelievably.
I remember like vividly texting you, like, why can't Denver just get Buddy Hield? I still think he would be better than our bench. But that's kind of what it was like with Russ a little bit. Like, oh, cool, you got Russ.
Okay.
Wait a second.
Okay. Yes. Well, how did you guys feel? Because you guys, were you on the golf course when the fight happened, Will?
No, I got home with about 2 minutes left of the first quarter.
Oh, so
I was hopping around in my living room. I was going crazy. I was like, I was yelling, AG, stop. I do not want you to get ejected, please. You're going to have a game-winning dunk.
To Zubats.
Don't get ejected.
I literally said earlier on the timeline, and my mom agrees, that Zubats is the real MVP because had he not grabbed AG would have literally, I don't know I think he might have killed
the beard.
James Harden. Oh, yeah.
Herb stomp.
He wouldn't have done anything.
You don't think AG would have done anything?
I think they would have gotten really close to each other's
and started
and yelled at each other.
Noses,
oh, yeah.
Kissing a little.
Like,
put their foreheads together. Against each other. Yeah, that's all that would have happened.
I
mean, butterfly kisses through eyelashes.
The close up of James Harden, like trying to like tap him, getting him in the throat, and then immediately sprinting away.
Yeah, that
the best thing I've ever seen.
Was so scared. And then I don't know if y'all saw it yet because they like just started uploading them. But the interview after, they're like, so like, what was that? He was like, they were messing with my young fella, CB. He said, I don't like when they mess with my young fella.
That's so amazing.
Stop.
But I was like, you have Jokic, because James Harden kind of pushed Jokic a little bit. I'm like, y'all better watch out because Strahinja will come for you. And he was there.
See, now Jokic is actually scary. He'll do something.
Yeah.
We've seen that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he'll do something. So
his brothers especially. I was
His
like, you
brothers-
know his brothers are there.
Scenes, man. I thought that was good. I actually think the refs did the right thing. I think we all wanted them to eject James Harden. Reggie Miller, that whole time, he was like, don't eject anybody. It was kind of annoying because it was obvious that he wanted the Clippers to win. And anytime they like slow-mo something AG did, he'd be like, look, AG did that. Look, AG. He got punched out in the face. And then they were like, oh, no, that was an accident. I do think that was all I think it was handled correctly.
For
I'm
the
sure
playoffs. Yeah, like you don't want to eject a player in the whatever, but
you won't be happy with that analysis. But I'm just glad AG didn't get out.
oh my
And that's
gosh.
exactly what I said. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm so glad they just gave literally 6 techs, 3 on each
techs.
team. And
Even it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yes. I was like,
but
you know
why
what?
did you give
It's the
Jokic a
playoffs.
tech?
Well, because
he was
Jokic
just
got in
standing there.
Harden's face and kind of shoved with his chest from the other side. But just
well,
I think they needed another tech to offset it so that no one was
they just
shooting.
wanted it to
because
offset
it was
so
just,
no one was shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what?
It was.
I kind of have a different takeaway, like about how that. I think it impacted the game, but I think
okay.
Harden let down his guard and he kind of let CB into his. Like he let him know that he was bugging him, you know.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
He like totally gave away his calm demeanor, and he like
Totally.
CB, we had a foul to give. Like, so why
He
are
was
you getting
stressed.
mad over
It was
that?
good.
Racism.
But he'd been shutting him down like the whole first
Yeah.
half, and then it continued. It continued almost the whole game after that. And I think Christian Brown, he's a guy that lives up to the moment. He kind of lives
does.
He loves
the
those
competition.
stages.
It goes back to what we were talking about, kind of like playing at the heightened levels of playoffs and with pressure. I think there's only one way to get used to that and to be good in those situations, and it's to have experienced them. I really think that's
the only way.
1000%.
the only way. And just because you have to because you're a little bit more shaky, you're a little bit more nervous. You have to execute like so much more focus.
Yeah.
In everything that you do, dribbling the ball.
Because you can let the adrenaline take over.
Yes. And looking up the court. I think Jamal, honestly, he's so good at that it might like not even give him as much pressure as it used to. And part of me why he just looked like he was going like 80%, 70%.
Yeah.
He was taking the worst shots tonight. Like so many of the shot selection, like, because I was fine with game 1 where he wasn't shooting like he usually does because they were good shots. They were open shots. But so many shots tonight.
And he
like,
still
I don't
had
know,
21.
I don't know
like,
if he was
in
just
that
trying to
game.
get him. Did he really?
Right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, 19. It might have been 19 in game 1.
See, I have the box score up here.
Oh, you're talking about game 1. Yeah, game 1, I think he had 21
Nine,
or something.
He only had 13, yeah.
13 tonight, 5 of 17
He only had,
shooting.
13 tonight. Yeah. I was going to say
that's
in game
literally
1.
what Russ had in his last game.
Literally.
17.
And it was,
Ooh.
but like almost all of his shots were like contested, like terrible shots. And I was like, what? Like, why would we not just, especially when you have poor Michael Porter Jr., like shout out to him though, because he like, you can tell
The one-armed
like,
wonder.
He was barely moving that arm and like wincing every time he shot, and it went in. So I was like,
and he was not set in like any of the threes that he made. I was like, dude,
which that's usually the telltale sign. Usually, like when a Mike 3 is going in, or if not, like did he set his feet?
Yes,
and
yes.
like you can automatically tell. And one of them was so awful, like I knew that wasn't going in, but. A lot of them he wasn't set. You're so right. I couldn't believe some of those went in.
He curled around so many defenders and was just grabbing the ball and throwing it up. And I was like, you're not even okay.
Here's one thing
draining them.
I noticed watching him warm up that a lot of the follow through when you shoot a basketball is with one hand. I actually think what just happened.
Spencer drank her drink and it just like
it was like a cartoon
really loud.
sound.
Having some purple
so sorry.
over there.
Oh my god. Okay,
Anyway,
sorry. Go ahead.
I think he was shooting more for obviously because his left arm hurts, and I think he was shooting more with one hand, and I don't think the rest of his body necessarily needed to be set for him to get in his one-handed spot.
Like,
I think it helped. Like I think he shot a little bit differently tonight, and I think he figured that out.
It actually went in after going like, what was it, 1 for 10 the other night?
Yeah.
That was so good to see.
Oh.
I know he's the easiest guy to pick on
but how good are the Nuggets when he's hitting his shots, man?
They're so good when he plays well. They're so good.
But it's so inconsistent.
I was gonna say, but it is inconsistent.
It's so frustrating. Like it's so frustrating because he is supposed to be like that's like what he gets paid the max contract for is to be our 3-point shooter. So it's like when you only get these games every once in a while, it sucks. Like when you have like Malik Beasley on of the Pistons, who he was like tied with Anthony Edwards for the most threes. Like, and he's playing defense and getting all those shots up. So it's like frustrating because people still call like MPJ one of the best shooters in the league, but he really is inconsistent to me. Like,
Not
he really
anymore.
He
is.
should be in the top 3.
I mean, he's a
three-pointers
beautiful
made
shot. Like,
in the NBA.
beautiful
Dude,
shot.
But he's not.
Yeah.
What was he this year?
He
I
was
can
at
look it up for you.
39%. He was at 39%.
No.
on the
I'm
season.
talking about
MPJ.
threes made total.
Total threes made.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
that
like
number.
what was he in the top 10?
I got
Was he in the
you.
Top 15. Stat Muse, where you at?
I was like, I'm on it.
NBA total.
Because he
what-
should be in the top 5 every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I don't think he
Well,
shoots
and,
enough.
and like
Season
the reason
leaders.
he's not. And while you guys are looking that up, feel free to share
Mhm.
whenever you have it. But I mean, one thing about this team, and I'm just begging them next season to change their offensive philosophy. I know they're a really good paint scoring team,
Yeah.
but like this league, you have to start shooting more threes. You have to.
Oh my,
You
have to.
Caitlin,
Do
Michael
you
Porter
have-
needs to be shooting
Go.
8 threes.
Kate-
Jamal needs to be shooting. Okay, if you have the set,
I
go
call
ahead.
in Caitlin.
you have permission.
He's the 22nd most threes in the league this year with
way.
193.
That's
193.
poor.
And I think he's only shooting about
He has a
6
max
and a half a game.
starter.
Max contract just to shoot threes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
that's so
and
it's so
that.
frustrating.
It is. But like you said, like I feel like when like Jamal and MPJ are both playing well, like you can't stop them when you have the three
That's
of them all
LA
playing well.
series. Yeah, that's the Los
Yeah.
Angeles
Yeah.
series the last 2 years and the
Yeah.
Minnesota series 2 years ago.
But the thing is, if you're getting paid a max to shoot 3-pointers and Aaron fucking Gordon is out shooting you by like 5% from 3, there's a problem here.
Bro.
There's
Bro.
a
Eric
problem.
Gordon and Jokic just smoking him this year. in
Like
three-pointers.
that's
Yeah.
so embarrassing.
There's something to hard work, and I don't necessarily. I guess he did come to the season saying he was working out a ton and that, but obviously you can see just if you go to a game, AG's always out there getting shots up before.
He's the last.
early.
Yeah, he's the
Always.
last one up because I like to be there early, and him and
Yeah.
Jamal and
too.
him are usually last, but AG is always the last person to get off the
Yep.
court every
Yeah.
time.
And it's simple hard work that he put in, and he has good technique, and that will allow you to get significantly better if your
Yeah.
form is right and you work really hard on it. I think if your form isn't right, which Michael's is, I'm not saying his is not,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that's why Aaron Gordon's gotten so much better because he's just worked hard, and
Dude,
he
he's,
just
No, it
has,
looks-
he's mastered the hop, step, catch and shoot 3 this
Yeah.
year. He
1000%.
had that in Arsenal in previous
Yeah.
years, and he
Yeah.
mastered it somehow this year. I've never seen a crazier like
I
improvement in shooting
Oh,
in
no,
a
it's
player in
the
my entire
biggest-
life.
I think it's the biggest they said like ever because it's literally
Yeah,
by
it-
like 10 or
That's so
15
cool.
percentage
I
points.
think he
But
shot 29% last year.
I like what
29%
Will
from
said.
three.
He said
Holy
outside
crap.
of pick and roll, I want Jamal to only shoot 3s. Honestly, we need Jamal to shoot so
Period.
many more 3s.
Yeah, we need
Yes,
to talk
he needs
about
to be
this more.
shooting more.
he just needs to come off
Yes.
the pick and shoot. He does this
There's
little
so many
liberty
times
block
today.
dribble.
So many times today that he dribbled the air out of the ball instead of just shooting. He was like,
Just
out of all
shoot
the shots
the
he
ball.
chose, like this is why I got annoyed with Reggie last year, and then Jamal would do it too. And like it was my biggest pet peeve of theirs is they get the ball, pretend like they're the only person on the court. Julian kind of does this too, and like they would have had an open shot, but then instead they decide to like start trying to get fancy with it, and then they like choose the most contested, like last second on the shot clock shot ever, and obviously it doesn't go in.
Yeah.
Love that.
Jamal's best stretch of the season this year was when he was shooting super high volume from 3, and when he makes one, he usually is going to make 2 or 3 or 4 more. Like that's just he's a rhythm player.
He's one of
So
those
it
people.
makes no
He
sense.
needs to get one.
It makes no sense that he's hesitant shooting from 3,
Well,
and especially off the pick and roll, off the dribble, pull up, like the pull up 3s. That's his bread and butter. And maybe I need to go back and watch the game a little bit closer. And maybe I know they're going over screens and it's hard to get those shots off, but
Yeah.
you got to create some space for yourself. And once you hit a 3 off the pick and roll dribble, then you have a lane to drive into the basket. Then you can kick and pass and get other people involved. He
It
just
felt
wasn't
like
making
so
very
many-
good decisions.
it felt like so many guys were hesitant tonight coming off of the screen because there were so many times where their defender was right behind them. So I'm like, this is the time to shoot. Go, go, go. And then they like hesitate for too long. And then your defender's caught up. Like, it was so frustrating to watch. CB did it tonight. Jokic did it tonight. And then Jamal did it tonight. There were so many times where they had like come off the screen and their defender is trailing them. And I'm like, this is your time. Just shoot it. So I don't know what the team has against threes.
And some like technical analysis. I think Reggie Miller broke this down once. No, it was Tim Legler. This is good. So Jamal going to the right, you'll very rarely see him shoot a three going to his right.
This is the quirk, by the way. This is the Jamal Murray quirk. If you guys remember that, like big tweet from that Lakers fan back in the conference finals.
So if you're on the right side of the basket and you're right-handed, to get square to the hoop, you have to kind of go across.
Turn your body,
And if you're going left, you go up and your right arm is there. You get it to the basket a lot easier. So going left for him, think about the three he made tonight. He was going to the left, and it was a pretty set shot, and he made it. But for me, and his game has just his whole career has been on that midi jump shot, and he's usually so good at it. But when he's not good at it, like, we got to figure something out. And he just needs to get better at pulling up on a three. And so if that just means getting a screen to the left and going to the left, those are the big threes he hits, is when he's going to the left off of the screen. And I think
they're not letting him go left, though. If you do watch the film, they're forcing him right.
This is where I give my flowers
they know it.
to Ty Lue, because he's drawing up a defense. Of course, Jokic is the number one guy they're worried about.
The focus,
The fact that Murray hasn't been able to really get to his spots that well is all on Ty Lue, because they know how impactful.
They're forcing him right. Yeah.
They're almost selling out on Jamal more than they are on Jokic this
year. They really are.
Crazy.
Tonight, I think
because
they did.
I feel like
because they know that Jokic
you can
is
live
assisting
with
him the most. Yeah.
And
you have to.
Yes, I was gonna say, most teams are gonna look and be like, okay, like if Jokic is doing well, we all have to live with that. Jokic is gonna do well every game, 99.9% of the time. Like, you can live with a lot of his stuff, but the guys that they know that all you have to do is cut off MPJ, cut off,
Jamal,
cut off
AG,
CB, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And if you know how to cut off Jamal from going left, and you take away that whole part of his game, if you close out,
you take off that peanut butter and jelly,
no more. Exactly. There's so many little things that you can do to stop us from shooting well. But I'm so with you guys. I feel like if we're shooting three, if we're shooting the ball well, we need to put up so many more. I don't know why.
We have to.
Why
in
are we
this
putting
NBA?
up 10? Why are we putting up 10 threes?
Can I share some thoughts on that? I
Please
think,
do.
and I might, I've talked about Jokic ball in the past, and obviously, he creates the most efficient offense maybe in the history of basketball. I think we can agree that that's a real thing. But I do think it does come with a couple of downsides, I guess. And one of those downsides is because he can create such an efficient shot in his post up, and because he's so good at finding cutters going to the basket, those are your first two options almost every single time when Denver's in an offensive set. Like, you want to get a back cut or you want to get a Jokic post up. Other than that, it's pretty much the Jamal Murray and Jokic pick and roll. And even that is often leading to a dump pass to Jokic or a Jamal mid-range shot. Like, those are their go-to bread and butter plays. Yeah. And especially in the playoffs, they want to go to those so much. They're not putting themselves in great positions to shoot threes. They're not playing 5-out basketball like the Celtics, drive and kick. And so I don't know if you can you get a lot of threes playing Jokic ball, like peak Jokic ball, where he has the ball, he's getting touches out the elbow. I think you can. I just think you have to really, really emphasize it more, and you have to start practicing it more and keep with it. next season in the regular season. It's probably too late
Yeah.
to start
That's
doing
what
it
I'm
like
saying.
right
Yeah,
now
like
in the
it's
a
playoffs.
change
It's
it
something
up.
that you really have to like that you have to think about, that you really have to focus. Like if you know that we're like one of the last teams in, 3 points attempted, like that's a problem in this NBA, because again, like if you go up against a team like the Celtics, who, they could be down 20 and then they could go on a run in about 3
Get
minutes
hot from three.
Because they
Yeah.
can produce an open three every single possession. They also have
Yeah.
shooters in every single they're leaving at
Position,
least one
really,
shooter
Everyone can shoot.
on Denver open. And
Exactly.
so that makes it even more difficult.
Oh
if
my
they
gosh,
had
watching
5 shooters, it's
Yeah,
watch-
that's what I was gonna say. If we had more shooters, this, it would be so much easier.
Oh, well,
you can foul
I don't know
out
if y'all
so
saw
easy.
this, but apparently Calvin Booth said that the whole reason that he loved CB and P Watt, I sent this to Galen earlier, was because he thinks that they perfectly mimic Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
So close. It's like, it's uncanny. I just like, I
Now
can't,
that you say it, I mean,
can't
How
even
did I
tell the
not see
difference.
this before?
Jaylen Brown does kind of look white. He's from Kansas, right?
Can't.
Peyton
He
Watson
said that, and
is-
I was like,
he's tall. That's true.
Tall.
he was.
He went to college.
He did go to college. He did go to
They're
college.
both smart-ish, maybe. I don't know.
Both went to California colleges. Oh, we're on to
they're-
something here.
Wait,
Yeah.
who?
Peyton Watson and Jaylen Brown.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of literally any
thinking
like
Anything that
actual.
resembles them? Mm-mm, not even a little bit. Nothing.
Both of them can't dribble.
Welcome to the club,
I think that's
kiddos.
I think that's an important part in two All NBA players. That being said, Jaylen Brown can only dribble with one hand, but that's
He really can't dribble with his left hand, and he's an NBA All-Star.
Yeah.
It is so crazy.
but he can still dribble with his right.
Does it
I
ever
don't
Play
think Jaylen
instead.
Watson can dribble with either.
shock y'all though, like how terrible Michael Porter Jr. is when he tries to dribble?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got so mad when that really bad dribble turnover.
I get
play.
genuinely
I was
scared. Why does he hop? I feel like he hops. I'm like, why are you following the basketball? What
I
is
feel like he like
that?
gets down and he's like this.
Yes, yes.
Oh, man.
He brings the ball. I'm like, please don't. It's like
Dude.
literally going back to my high school days, really embarrassing. I
cry.
literally got an entire standing ovation for dribbling the ball once. But like, I know my strengths. Dribbling the ball is not one of them. You will not catch
And
me
Hezzy
dribbling.
being at half court. I don't know what he was doing.
It's
That
so
was
bad.
crazy.
Anytime he
It
puts
was-
his head down and does his little hezzy crossover,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm about to like
He went to do a
Or something.
crossover, and his left arm didn't even leave the side of his body.
that. His hand was like this far from the ball. It was like it was. This is the ball. This is his hand. Put his little his other hand.
I literally
cannot.
can't
It
because
wasn't close.
I just don't understand. Like every time I watch, I'm like, dude, how are you in the NBA? How do you not know how to dribble the ball in the NBA?
I don't
Man,
understand.
Felt.
I don't
It's true.
understand.
I do. I mean, I feel bad for Mike because of his injuries and stuff.
I know. And I think it has so much to do with his injuries, which is the saddest.
Have
thing
you guys
ever.
gone down that like his whole story? It's
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
I mean,
Oh, I mean, in the brace, like the brace for his foot drop,
His
like
foot. If he doesn't wear a brace on his foot, if his foot falls off. I think you guys know that.
I
it
think
will
you're
roll on
lying.
court, roll away.
Just drops.
Yeah, it's not
just what they
connected.
call it, drop foot.
Yeah.
Wait, you're lying.
No.
he is, yes, Caitlin. You can't make these
Okay,
jokes
it's
with
not
Caitlin.
real.
Oh,
I was like, what? That sounds
No, drop
scary.
foot, like literally, it like has to force your foot like into a position. But the thing is, what's crazy too is like we all know Ben Simmons like is just now playing basketball after how many years, and like they've had I think the
All of
same back
them.
surgeries.
yeah.
Yeah, Michael Porter has had the one surgery that Ben Simmons had 3 times.
Yeah,
3 times. And
Jesus.
and when you
3
go
back
back and look,
surgeries is wild.
when you go back and look at his high school tape, oh my
Oh.
goodness, he is just like a gazelle.
That
Like
was-
I'm dead serious. Go back and watch his
Fun
highlights.
fact.
I've seen his. Listen, I've
It's
seen Hoop
so
mixtape, his
insane.
Ball is Life mixtape. Don't
Brennan,
worry.
is your thing still pinned? Is that what's still pinned?
No, I don't
So
have it pinned
Brennan's
anymore.
had a tweet and it was showing MPJ's
Yeah.
high school highlights, and it was like, what would have happened if he didn't get hurt? And it had like 6 million views or something.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
yours.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that
Yeah.
many times. It is sad, but I used to say, and I've said this to Caitlin like so many times, I have a theory that like so many players are bad at defense that were like the number one prospects in high school because like they literally didn't have to play defense. Like you're playing
true.
against
Yeah.
kids that are like never even going to college or playing like ever again.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you
Like
just
this is the best it gets for
you're
so
like
many
you're
of these
6'7"
kids.
in high school
Yeah.
and these kids are like 5'8". Like of course you're gonna dominate them and not have to try.
And that's also that's another reason he looks so talented in those videos.
And
But
then I think college has that like the next level where you have to
Yeah.
play defense, right? And he didn't play in
Yeah.
college. So it
Yeah,
was
he
literally
played like 4 minutes or
Period.
something.
yeah.
4
maybe
games.
college basketball, 100%. I think it's, or if you're playing in your
did
league,
you say?
play defense over there.
What was the first half of your sentence?
Oh, I don't remember.
My
My brain's going
neither.
really fast right now.
Sometimes,
Sharks.
hey,
Something about sharks.
sometimes I start talking and I don't really know where the end is going to be, and I just hope that I find it
Me.
along the way.
I
got
usually
self-taught
stop
over here.
halfway. Yeah, I usually stop halfway and I go, where was I going with that?
There's
I
so
don't-
many videos that I've had to clip before where it's like Caitlin starting, and it will have been that she was like commenting, like relating to something I just said, and like halfway through, I'm like, where was this? Where are we gonna tie this back in with what I
I'm
said?
like, I swear it circles back around to exactly what you're. At some point,
At
it
some
will.
point.
It will make
come
its
full circle.
round.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
thought I will say I mean before we got to the fourth quarter, the defense looked much better tonight. CB, we talked about this in our little game time group chat, but CB for some reason, God bless him, can only play really hard on one side of the ball at a time, which I'm which we were all fine with. Again, like if MPJ's making his threes, if Jokic is doing what he's doing, which
Yeah.
I felt like that was a little bit more after like the fightiness that Jokic was like, okay, like motherfuckers, like I'm the best in the world, like don't forget about me, like
100%.
I don't care about you, Zubats. I will
so
still do
good.
a little hook shot over your head.
Period.
And that was so good to see. But I do feel like we needed that version of CB the most. And I do
Yes.
think that there's different games where we need him to be the cutter to Jokic, but they're really cutting off those lanes and like the backside cuts for him and AG. Like no one's really allowed to hang out in the dunker spot. So I think that the version that we got of him tonight, because he's really struggled this series kind of on both ends, was like clear. He got in Harden's head, which is great. Like Harden
Totally
had like 6 points at the start of the fight or something. I don't know. I don't even know how much he finished with. Yeah, loser.
Yeah.
Loser. Absolute loser.
No, we also
looking
mentioned in that chat that Michael Porter, when he's doing his role and CB's doing
Yeah.
his role, that worked well together. They cancel each other out where one of them plays really good defense,
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of them shoots really well. That's when the Nuggets are very good.
Yeah.
And that was exactly what happened the entire third quarter.
Yeah.
And I hope
He played
they
the
do that again.
KCP role today. He was
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
Cadius out there.
Yeah, I mean
That was awesome.
KCP as of late too. Christian Brown shot 1 for 7 from 3.
Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
KCP
I'm
lately has been, like,
looking at the
total
box
over.
score, and Christian
Yeah,
Brown had the
KCP
has
second
been
most
really
shots on
really
the
bad.
team. Christian Brown had 19 shot attempts today.
And he
That's
missed
insane.
probably 4 layups too.
Oh, the
Like,
amount of
a
layups
lot.
that he left on the rim. He very much was KCP today.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Because
All of it.
KCP couldn't make a layup to save his life.
To save his life.
He was not good at those fast break layups, man.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, he was so bad.
But yeah, and then CB dropped one of those out of bounds, the Jokic pass. I think that was in the third quarter. It was just
It was
Yeah,
the
he-
fourth
so
quarter.
sloppy
That's
at
kind
the
of what
end.
started the run. It was Christian
Yeah.
Brown missed the layup over Zubac, and then he dropped that pass out of bounds.
yeah, it was back to
and then,
back.
And then it kind of just started like slowly, painfully.
They just let it
deflating.
get out of control. They
over
lost the
time.
rope. They
So,
wanted
yeah,
to
what-
make me suffer.
At what point of them being down a certain amount were you guys the most scared?
I know.
Which
What?
point?
When
What
you said it was
yours?
over, Brendan.
Like 4?
I did. You guys.
I think I
thought it
was most
over.
worried at 7 because I know how the Nuggets are, and then they cut it to 4, and
Yeah.
I was like, "See, this
Mine
is what
was
I'm
the
talking about."
second. The second it hit 9. Like once it always goes from 11 to 9, I'm always like, well, we're losing. Great. Okay.
It's over.
Single digits.
It was Jamal getting stripped at half court by Kawhi.
Ooh, that was bad.
That
And
was
I'm like,
so
oh,
bad,
yeah.
dude.
This is like Anthony Edwards, Nikhil Alexander-Walker
All over again.
drama. And
Pain.
yeah, I mean that was. I think I don't know. There's probably 4 minutes left when that happened. I think he came back right after that and hit his 2 shots in a row to put it back
Yeah.
up to 11. But and then Norm Powell just magnet ball at the end.
Freaking
Yeah,
Norman Powell. I'm like,
not
you
miss.
would go crazy
good,
on
man.
this game.
He's really
You little
good.
shit.
Honestly, for us having a Jamal like stinker and to have, Zubats went 19, 12, and 6. Harden wasn't great, but he had 15, 4, 11 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Kawhi had 24, 9, and 2. Norman Powell had 22, 4, and 1. Like, for us to have a Jamal stinker and them to have like gotten more than just Kawhi and Harden involved means a lot that we won. Because, I mean, we don't have a lot of, again, talent past Jokic. And it depends on the night who's the number 2, because it could be Jamal, could be AG, could be MPJ.
Yeah.
You never know. And I mean,
Are
it
you
took
guys
them playing
are
43
you guys
minutes. but
optimistic about that win? Do you feel better or worse?
Yeah, I feel better.
I felt better coming back to Denver for sure.
Yeah.
Me too.
I think Denver's gonna win the next game.
yeah.
I need them to
I
win
do
3 in a
too.
row.
My senses have been not wrong yet. Jamal didn't have
Taylor.
35 and Peyton Watson didn't have 2 threes tonight, but
They're
I
gonna.
think they're gonna win. I think
Yeah,
they're gonna win the next
I think so too. I think that they have like the right motivation. And I think watching how they played in
Yeah.
those first 3 quarters, like you just have to get everyone on board. And I think they have to do a little bit of something. Like it's so hard to close a game when you're expecting all 5 of your starters to like literally play the entire, like that's the entire second half. Like that's
Jokic
so
needed to sit at the beginning of the fourth too.
much.
Yeah.
What
I,
was
I
that?
know
That was
he
crazy.
told Adelman, "Hey, I'm not coming out." I know.
I
he said
know,
that.
I
We
know.
have 20-point
I
lead.
missed that. Did he really say that? I wasn't sure if someone just tweeted that and
I-
was like,
We don't
I
know.
wouldn't be
But
surprised if he said that. I would not be
I-
surprised.
like his normal rotations to be out, then we all know that. But
Yeah.
I think he'd have to verbally say that in order not to be out.
Totally not get
Yeah.
taken out.
Oh, and there was really no point. Like, yeah, if the Clippers cut it to 15, Jokic is in right away.
Yeah.
But he stayed in, and I think he was tired, and that's why he
Very.
didn't go seek the ball very much. Because in that stretch,
Yeah.
that blew the lead. He touched the ball so little. It was like Jamal had the ball 99% of the time and did something
Yeah.
98% of the time.
Yeah. I
Even
feel like
his-
you like have to like, I mean, just give the bench. I know it's so hard, but like we were up 20. Like if you give guys with spry
Yeah.
legs just 2 minutes at the beginning of the fourth, literally the
Yeah,
first
just
2
for-
minutes of the fourth, and then put the guys back in, like that 2 basketball minutes worth of a break, I think can do so much for the starters, or at least for a couple of them. I just feel like they were just so dead. Like I said, I think they all started
Yeah.
punching each other before the half to get an extra long halftime.
yeah,
They were like, you know what? 6 seconds left. Let's start beating the shit out of each other. And then
see what
once it's
happens.
Not a bad
over,
theory.
we're going
Yeah.
to literally get an extra 10 minutes and then we're going to be
Yeah.
good.
But
Yeah.
And they did.
to be fair, though, we haven't even talked about the ending of this game yet.
No.
Ugh,
we haven't.
which
The best
What happened?
part.
which
What-
I missed it.
Oh, wait. I'll tell you where I was most scared. You guys talked about when you were most scared.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. When were you the most scared, Will?
When we
yeah,
started
we didn't care, Will, but go ahead.
When he started losing.
When we started losing, I was like, okay, there was like 4. We were down.
When we
were up-
started
we
losing.
were up by 4. But there was 2.5 minutes. I was like, all right, come on. And then we were down by. Then we were down by or up by 1. I was like, we still have the lead. And then we were down by 1, and I was like, Oh my gosh.
This is it.
There's
Oh,
the
when we
Now
were
that
down
we're
by
down,
one, I officially
Disney
thought we were
Street.
cooked because we weren't making anything. So I thought there was no way in hell that we even got to the tie. But for all of our friends here, also, hi everyone. I have to tell Caitlin how many people are on because she can never see it, and so you guys can't see it. But we
can't
have
see it.
almost 600 people watching right now. So
Did you
shout
see
out-
the guy talking shit a couple minutes ago?
Shorts.
No, what
No.
was he saying? I want to talk back.
There was some guy named Juan who was just looking at the YouTube viewers. I don't know, it's like up a little bit, but he was like 22 viewers, fucking losers, like something
Oh.
stupid like that. And I was like, you don't even know.
You don't even
Don't
know.
even
I have a
know.
little eye. You want screenshots, buddy? I'll take a screenshot of my the little eye because we're streaming
Buddy,
on
old
Twitter
pal.
too. So my thing
Pump it up,
my
you sports. You guys are killing it. Good job.
Oh, thanks. My camera or on my screen though, I get to see like all the viewers combined from YouTube and Twitter, which is nice. Which is why we
It
stream
stresses
to
me
Twitter too.
out.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys are
Because
so
sometimes I'm too
fancy.
lazy to go on
That
YouTube.
intro, by the way, was so fire. Oh my gosh.
Thanks. I had nothing to do with it. Basically, I put it into a system and they did everything for me. But thank you so much.
Amazing. I love it.
Anyway, back to why we're here. Aaron Gordon, the love of my life. After almost literally
dating.
snatching.
Let's start
You
the
guys-
rumor.
If you guys didn't know, the rumors are true that no one started. Aaron Gordon almost snatches the beard off James Harden's face, and then he snatched the W right out of the freaking Clippers' hands
So good.
and left them demoralized. That was the most insane, I think, live thing that I've witnessed
So
ever.
did you guys think it was good as soon as it
Yes.
happened?
I did not.
Yes.
I did not.
I
I
didn't
did.
know.
as well.
Me
I
too.
didn't.
It's
I
kinda
screamed,
split.
but I screamed, but I kind of didn't think it. Like now
Yeah,
that I think about it,
yeah.
at the time I screamed, but I just thought it was a cool thing, even if we went to overtime.
I immediately said, "That's in, bitch," and my 6-year-old was like, language. Language. I was like, "Don't care, kid. That's in. That's enough."
I wasn't sure, and I was so worried. Especially all the fans were like this, but AG ran all the way to the locker room almost.
Dude,
Which was,
dude, stop. You can't win that part. The game might not be over.
That would have been bad.
literally
Jokic
in
did
the-
too.
in
Jokic
the
started walking
interview-
off.
well, no, Jokic. So they asked them in the interview, and they were like, "Well, they were like, AG, you ran all the way off the court, and Jokic, you didn't look so convinced." And and
Jokic
so
probably didn't think he
AG
was
said
good.
that he was like, "Well, I thought the game was over, so I was trying to get off the court." And Jokic said he didn't want to get excited and then go back down, so he
Oh,
stayed.
okay,
He said, "I
so-
stayed calm."
I was Jokic in that
Yeah,
in that situation
same.
because I
I was-
didn't
Nah,
really
not
react.
me. Nope.
I didn't
Just
even really
Murray.
react. I was
Mike.
like, I think that what was that?
Yeah,
This
right?
was
Like,
me.
What
Count?
was that?
Yeah, so I was not going to get my hopes up and then have them come back down
And then
until I
be
saw
miserable?
the replay. Until I saw the first replay.
Yeah.
So the
Then
the
I saw
Mine
the
were
first
up.
replay and
Yeah.
and then I let it. I was
The
like, that's
ref
good. That's
called
good.
it
Like,
good, which is a big deal for
Yeah.
Yes.
calls
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, are y'all
calls.
surprised?
I am.
Mm-mm.
It just didn't.
No,
look, it
I'm
didn't
not.
look-
I thought it was good.
No,
Me too.
I meant like, are you surprised that the refs, even that they had the call stand? Because that's a big deal to call that on someone else's home court and in a game like
he
this.
waved. I thought I saw him waving it. One
No,
ref waving it off.
One of them
and
went
then,
like this, I think. One of them.
yeah,
went,
maybe that's
I
what.
don't know.
Maybe that's what it was.
And then the other ref went like this, I think, and
Yep.
then and
Yeah.
so they called it like that's the official call on the floor, and then they go to review it, and unless they have, you know,
Clear and
Evidence.
conclusive evidence.
they
Yeah.
can't overturn it, which there really wasn't. And then there's more evidence to show that it was out of his hands.
Yeah, they showed the other angle and his
Yes.
fingertips. Because
Right here.
like,
Yeah.
did y'all see that
Clearly.
Legion hoops or whatever? He was
Yes.
like, I can't believe the refs gave this to the
They're supposed to
Nuggets.
be like
Clickbait.
non-biased. No,
Clickbait.
yeah.
Those guys are just trying. to get clicks.
But his
Clickbait.
name was Jacob. What a name,
What a-
Jacob.
Jacob.
Isn't, he a,
Freaking
isn't that guy a
Jacob.
Clippers fan or is he a Lakers fan?
Well,
Well,
clearly-
he's an LA fan. I don't care what he is now.
Yeah.
Unfollow.
Jacob is a weenie. That's all
Did y'all
I know.
see
Jacob is a
George? Did
weenie.
y'all see what George Carl said? And he even replied to me.
No.
George Carl said, like congrats to the Nuggets. Like this is really their 2025 finals because they're not getting past the OKC. And I literally I quoted and I said, "Damn, George, like can't y'all just let us enjoy this series?" And he literally said, and he like posted like the crying, laughing. He's like, "I'm sorry."
That's hilarious.
Damn it, George.
I was like, "Damn it, George! Like let us have this one." Like we just had.
Yeah, we're not thinking about that tonight.
No,
You've been chatting with George, but you're dating AG. So what's going on here?
Listen.
George Carl is her side piece.
George Carl's in her DMs.
George Carl is my Shannon Sharp.
I got a white boy on my roster. He be feeding me pasta and lobster.
I wonder if George gets it out.
Anyway, they said that this was the first ever like buzzer beater dunk in the NBA playoffs, like ever, because like I've never seen that.
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre Ayton had one very similar a couple years ago against the Clippers. I think maybe they deemed there was like 0.1 second, and so I'm not ruining your stat. It's completely true.
No. That's why I said I didn't say me said. I said they said.
Me said.
So if they're wrong, it's on them. But
so if it's because they said it on ESPN, which they're often wrong. So I mean, to be fair,
ESPN, man.
If I were a Clippers fan, I was thinking about how demoralized I would feel after I like just like whittled away this like lead that the other team has built, and then that's the shit that sends me home. I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been more mad if as a Clippers fan, I would have been more mad if Jokic shot that and made it.
Really? I don't know like the fact that Jokic airballed and then
double team
from 30 feet, dude. Jokic. Let's
he did that to the Lakers though.
And the Warriors in regular season
games.
Do you remember that? The Warriors game last year when he did that?
Yeah.
He did it in the first quarter in this game too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So true.
First quarter.
Oh, he did do it.
I think
he's so awesome, dude.
Like I think he wanted to do something flashy like that to send him home, but he was off so bad that it won the game for them.
Yeah. AG literally said nice pass, and they went, was it a pass? And Jokic said no.
Which is ironic because oftentimes he has to explain to people that what he throws to AG are passes and not
and not missed shots. Oh
yeah. And so it's obvious. I mean, we all know it was a shot, but like. Why didn't he back Zubats down a little bit farther and just do a normal soundboard? He literally pushed the ball out to the corner to shoot and sprinted off to shoot off 1 foot, which he could make.
Hey, that boy was tired. That boy was
echolocation powers were depleted at that point in the game.
His echolocation powers. That was the funniest thing.
Did you guys see that article by The Ringer?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't
I was like, you guys didn't see that? This is the best
you guys don't have to ask. Like anything that you think is on the internet, I've seen.
You only have to ask me.
that I am the same way sometimes. Will's like, did you see this? And sometimes I'm like, no, but I have.
No, Kaylin sees nothing. Like the amount of quotes or like random sayings that are just like average sayings for like the normal human population Kaylin doesn't get. I'm like, where did you like grow up? Which it was here, but
she says she thinks I was homeschooled, but I wasn't. I just am under a rock.
But I went to a private Baptist school. Like if anyone should not know things, you went to like but I'm just saying.
It was a Lutheran school.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Caitlin. Yeah. If like I know these things, then you should know these things. Anyway.
I'm just a loser.
I have to ask, because I told Caitlin I wanted to ask y'all this, everyone as a whole. So obviously OKC swept they fouled up 3. Fucking the basketball gods are watching you, by the way. OKC fouled up 3 to get the win over the Grizzlies. Boo, tomato.
Credit. Stupid.
No, absolutely. What do I look like? No, they took out Ja Morant. Like, please, I'm not giving them shit. Anyway, I'm a professional.
Aldama and Memphis.
I'm a professional OKC hater, and so they took the Grizzlies out 4-0. So they now get to warm their butts by the fire. Do you think though? Do you think it's worse because they're not going to be actively playing basketball, or do you think?
Okay, hey, you got an optimist over here.
That's valid.
What's fun about agreeing all the time?
Let's-
Well, look how bad SGA
Period.
looked in the first 3 games of this series
I'm
because they
disagreeing.
hadn't played for like the last
I'll-
week.
I'll tell you this: the Nuggets
wait.
would be bad with that long of a wait.
They
I
look
think we
awful.
know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look
Are
awful
we
with
saying the
rest.
same thing? Are we agreeing, Brennan, or no? You think them resting a long time is good for them?
I think them resting is good for them. They're
Right.
a young team.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, you could have said yes.
I had to confirm that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yes.
and I think it's bad. Because it would be bad for the Nuggets. I don't know
Yeah.
how they're going to react to it. Yeah, how long of a break did they have after the regular season to the playoffs? Was it any?
Well, their starters
A
didn't play like
week.
the last week.
It was probably 9-ish days.
Yeah.
it'll probably
And then
be
Shea came
around-
out and was shooting like 12%.
Yeah, but they played. The rest of their team went bazooka bubblegum.
Yep. Bazooka
Bazooka
bubblegum,
bubblegum.
period. Yes. For me, the reason that I say that I think it's going to be almost beneficial for them is because I thought the opposite last year with Boston. Boston literally skip, hop, jumped, walked, danced through the playoffs last year, and they had so much time to wait in between each series, and they just came out strong every single time. And I just feel like that's how OKC is. Like, they're going to have such fresh legs. They're all so young. They're all so athletic. They have such a deep team. And so I just fear that they're just going to be like, just dancing through every effing series.
Okay.
And I'll just
So that's 2 good, 1 not good. Spencer, yours is the final.
What's your thought?
Oh, I mean, I said it's not good for OKC, and it might be good for us if we can do it in 6. I think if we do it in 7, we're screwed. Like,
That's valid.
I think it's good.
Do Caitlin and I agree again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
We better
remember
not
who
be
was-
wrong this time.
Well,
Nice, Spencer.
no, you guys need to be wrong because that means it's bad for OKC and good for the Nuggets. Come on
And
now.
if you missed it, we did like 3 or 4 segments where we debated a couple
Where
topics on our
Kaylin and
podcast.
Brendan tried
We
to
kept
debate the
agreeing.
Yeah,
benches.
they tried to have any type of argument that the Clippers bench and the Nuggets bench were comparable and that the Nuggets bench was
Listen.
The
better.
Nuggets bench have scored 7 points since that conversation.
Don't you all
They
know?
shot 1-3 tonight, their bench. They did not make
Don't
that.
you all know that I'm disabled? Okay, I can't be right all the time.
What's your
I've
excuse?
gotta-
She's disabled.
I'm just making random. Yeah, that's my excuse. I don't
I'm a
have
blonde
use of
and
my
I was
right
still
arm.
right. So what's that?
Darn it.
Yeah. I think optimism blinded me on that one a little bit.
Yeah.
I was.
How are you?
Me too.
How is anyone optimistic about the Nuggets bench?
I
How
just-
can anyone be optimistic about that?
Yeah, it's over. There's no.
Touche.
I have no. I
You have nothing
left
to
fight
say.
there.
Do we have any?
Yeah.
Do we have any Rust stands in the viewership here?
I'm sure there are.
Any what? Any ref stands?
Russ
down.
fans
Calm
in the
down.
no Russ fans in the chat.
I'm just
Yeah.
wondering. The team.
Russ,
saying.
did you see that the Nuggets are 7-0?
I think
Eight
they're
now.
8-0 now.
8-0 now.
Oh,
8-0 win what?
When Russ
when
doesn't
Russ
play.
sits. I hate it. Will said he'll be devil's advocate for Russ stands.
Thanks,
Will Jones.
Will. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
please.
Send me a
Please
Rust
do.
stand. I'll talk to him.
Will Jones, you are
I'll
not going to
talk
be.
to
Since
him.
when do you care about the Russ stands, Will? I like that's so funny that you
Yeah,
said that.
I'm not buying that.
He's-
for a
Will
second.
Jones
playing
is
a
in the chat
part.
saying he would advocate for the Russ stands.
I want to see the chat. How do I see the chat?
If you click
Oh,
the comments button on the right
think
side,
I put it in
Just
full
figured
mode.
this out. I've been reading.
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
comments.
Get out
It's
of
been
full
pretty
mode and then you can go
entertaining.
to live and you can see the live chat. Okay. I'm sorry, but it's really the highs of Russ are so high, but he would have killed us in the clutch tonight.
yeah.
Join the chat.
Well, I mean, there wasn't a lot that we did right in the clutch. To be completely fair,
Obviously.
Besides-
Yep.
Exactly.
Besides one Jokic sophomore shuffle, which we haven't talked about that either. That was absolutely insane that
Yeah.
he made that shot. The Russ thing is weird because
Will says Russ won game 1 because he knew the play. But my thing is like that play, it was like a straight pass
said, but
10
then
feet
overturned
away,
to start
and
game
he
3.
was standing there.
Literally.
Yeah.
And every news outlet, Tim Legler literally said that the amount of space that Russ had between him and somebody was more space than anybody has probably ever had in a playoff game to shoot a
That's
three.
hilarious.
I'm not just going to say Russ played a really good game one. I think we might have lost without Russ.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Totally.
he almost cost us the game 4 times.
Three times, yeah.
3 times, but he had game-winning plays
Same
3
thing.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he just did his job that night.
I think he would have
Live
turned the
by
ball
Russ,
over
die by Russ.
probably 1 or 2 times. The issue is he clearly has a bad attitude. Like, I've literally heard this from so many people, and then I saw it in game 2. I literally watched him because I was behind the bench, literally watched him get taken out after like playing a few minutes and start yelling, "This is bullshit," go off of the court back to the locker room, and then came back like 10 minutes later and was like, I think he's bipolar, because he was like
That's
all happy and
unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah,
in my
you said you were at that game, Spencer, when he was yelling at
Yeah.
his teammates?
yeah, well, he literally like right in front was like, this is bullshit, walked off on game 2 like in the second quarter, and then came back later.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Dude,
I was
Look,
like,
Look, they
Why?
won the game. Russ didn't play. Here's the thing. The argument for Russ is the starters are absolutely going to be fried if they have to play this amount of minutes again.
yeah.
Jamal
Yes.
was
Yeah,
fried.
well, I mean, like, I'm not saying
Like,
we need
yeah,
Russ
like,
essentially.
It would be nice to have him and a good attitude and like just doing things that are positively helping the team and just
Yeah.
chilling. But that historically that's not really who Russ has shown himself to be. Sometimes he wins you games, but yeah, I don't know. It's such a tough.
I like what Daniel says. He says the fact that Russ warrants this much discussion is the problem.
Yeah, it is a it is the problem.
It
It's
is.
like we
Yeah.
should not be having to rely on 36-year-old veterans to get us
Yeah.
over the hump. Like
Just
we-
because they're
we
a
should
body,
not-
like,
yeah, it's tough.
And he showed us, like, when he's played his best basketball, we've talked about this over and over again.
yeah.
He's not trying to score. He's trying to
Assist Jokic,
get
really.
in there
Just
and
get the
mess
ball to-
things up in the lane,
Yeah.
play hard defense, go after loose balls, and
Facilitate
pass
on the
and
offensive end.
and
Yep.
pass and pass and pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Then take a couple occasional corner threes when they're there.
When
and then
Corner
slow the
threes.
when
offense.
you're
Totally.
wide open, yeah.
Corner threes, a green light when you're open. Anywhere else, like,
Don't
don't even think. But
Well,
He
and
there's
then
needs to.
Last game, that's what
Yes.
kickstarted the run, is what you said, Brendan, right? Or Will, that like he literally took like 5 open shots, and then immediately the Clippers went on a 22 and like
Yes.
2
Yeah,
run or something.
He played 9 minutes. I think he was, he missed 4 threes and maybe another shot in those 9 minutes, and they went on a 23-2 run in that time span.
There was a period of
And,
time where he was like a minus 22, and the starters were like still in the plus. Like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
that game, they all ended up in the minus because they kept losing. So that game
Yeah.
is not entirely Russ's fault, but
Whoever
it-
Daniel.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah. It
I just
definitely
think
wasn't
he's right,
Russ's
you know,
fault,
like,
but
it wasn't.
The fact that we're so much focus is on Russ and he has this much of a like responsibility for this team is just not necessary.
Yeah,
entirely, and nor should Jalen Pickett be having to play in these minutes. It's not feasible for
him
to
trying to
expect these
play
guys
booty
play
ball
well.
in the post tonight.
Yeah,
He's too afraid. He can do it though. He can
I
do
know he
it.
can, but
But he
tonight
won't.
he
He's too
didn't.
scared.
Jalen Pickett's the little engine that could.
He got in there a few times and like,
Oh.
go up, pump fake, go
I
up.
think I can. I
Go
think
up.
I can.
Come
And
on,
he-
little buddy. You
He
can
passed
do
up
it,
an open
man.
3 too. I was like, brother, if you make that,
Brother, that's how I feel every time like Jalen Pickett makes something. I'm like, you go, little guy, and I'm like, oh, he's like a 24-year-old man. Like, and I'm like,
Dairy
yeah.
Queen
He got
after the
scored on by
game,
Bogey.
baby.
He just like shot it right over him. He just rose up and shot it right over him. Like, and he was trying, and it's like, good try, man. Like, good try, little guy.
Man,
You're
you
working
did
hard
that.
out there. That is the state of the Nuggets bench right now.
It's we have 5.5
bad.
playable players. It's
Ooh,
really
do we?
great.
I don't know. I
Agreed,
think
John.
it's 5.
I
Peyton
think
Watson
it's like
was subbed in for defense, and he
3.
gave up the offensive rebound at the end too. Like,
I will yell.
He's had absolutely no impact offensively.
He
You know
did
what
have a few like tip rebounds that were big,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
other than that, he really did nothing.
We have a Kawhi fan in the chat. Kawhi fan in the chat. They said they're sick to their stomach right now, but we deserve the win. I'm so sorry. I'm not, but if I were on the receiving end, I am sick for you.
Empathetic.
But I was sick.
Yeah.
I was sick the last 2 games that y'all won, and you had Kawhi go off for like 90% from the field. So you know what?
I'd rather lose by 20 than have that happen to me.
Yeah,
sure.
every time. Every time.
Here's I think the ideal offseason situation is. I think it would be cool for Russ to stay, not play, because we go out and get pieces.
Would never work, dude.
He would never do that.
That would never work.
Well,
he would
he's
never
not
not
getting a championship then, because he's not going to be a key role this late in his
He's not
life.
getting a championship then.
I'm just saying it how it is. He's
Do
not
you
going to
think that plays a part into why he wants to be on the floor so much?
Oh,
Especially at the end of the
100%.
games? Like
'Cause
he wants
I think
to,
in
he
his
wants to
head-
have credit for the championship.
Yeah, because I think in his head, because for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, like people like P-Watt and stuff, they got a ring. I'm like, yeah, but like, do they really have a ring? I'm like, they do, but like,
When
to
you're
me, if
70
I didn't play a minute, I wouldn't consider it my own
When
ring.
you're 70 years old and you're sitting around with your family telling stories that no one is going to remember anything, you can just tell them whatever you want to.
Doesn't
Yeah,
Bone,
yeah,
doesn't
it's
Bone
triple
Highland
double.
have a ring?
I made
No,
a
they didn't give
game
him one.
winner
And
in
they had
game
one.
6.
No, they could have. I think the team basically like votes on anyone who was a part of the season before like trade
Yeah,
deadlines and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
If they get one, and Bones did not get one.
I did not know that. I thought he probably got one.
They said
Nuh-uh.
no. Yeah.
No, the magic conch says no.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one, and I actually understand that from his personal legacy perspective. Like, I think I can contribute and be a 35-minute.
I think he has no self-awareness. I was
But
talking
it
Not
with,
everyone is
very-
Steph.
Yeah, you're
Or with
36,
LeBron.
man. You're
I
36 years old.
I was
Period.
talking about this with the guys at DMDR today because I was like, because it's, you know, like everyone is realizing that like Russ clearly has a big ego. And I was like, does he not like have any self-awareness that like he makes these idiotic plays that like ruins like games? And they were all like, no, I don't think he has any self-awareness at all. Like I really don't think, I think that he thinks that like his 1-3 can make up for like 12 mistakes. Like I just don't think, I think he's bipolar. I don't know, or maybe a narcissist. I'm not sure.
I mean, most professional athletes.
You kind
who
of,
are that-
I've
who
always
are that
said you
good
kind
are
of have to be a
Yeah.
professional athlete because you have to believe you're number one, and if you don't,
You
you're
have
gonna
to.
be like you're gonna
And
be
you
like
have
Zeke
to
Naji.
sacrifice so much of your life to even get that good.
Yeah.
Kobe, MJ, LeBron, probably all on the narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Right?
what do you mean? Like LeBron, like calls himself King James. Like
Yes, come on.
he
That's
crowns.
Exhibit
whatever.
A. Yeah.
That's
of
pretty fun
course.
to do, honestly. It's pretty makes me feel powerful.
I'm gonna do
I'm
that
not
every
gonna
morning when I go in
lie.
the shower.
I also do that. Yeah. Also
Honestly,
same.
any of the celebrations, I even like tweeted today. I was like, wow, I'm so mad that I'm never going to be an NFL player getting or like a college player getting a call that I'm going to the NFL, because that seems like a really cool thing to happen. And I'm like, same thing with like an NBA playoff celebration. Like after I just hit a big 3, like I'm never going to experience that, and I bet it's pretty freaking cool.
Steph Curry getting to hit night on people. Come
Paris,
on.
You couldn't tell me shit for the rest of my life. I don't care how
No.
bad I was in my career. I
I'm
could be
just
the
a
worst player
fan of
ever.
him. And you couldn't tell me shit for a week after that. I was like, what? Steph Curry just hit night on the whole world. Okay? Like, you can't talk to
Yeah.
me. I was so cocky.
But yeah.
Forever.
Anyway, I don't
Both
think
of them
Russ would
do.
literally ever play the DeAndre Jordan
hilarious.
role. I don't think Russ would ever do that in my entire life.
Yeah,
Would
and
he?
like that's
No.
the difference between Russ and then guys like Jeff Green and DeAndre, who
Yeah.
Who
are
got
good.
a
That
ring.
they want to help get the young players better.
That's
And
a
I-
big
I-
part of a winning team.
Andre
Yeah.
Iguodala.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Give me Iguodala. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Anyways.
give me Iguodala.
the season's not over, so I'm not gonna try and look too far ahead to the off-season acquisitions, because I think we've been
No.
talking about that since February with this team. But like
I'm
they're
really
alive.
worried
They're
about.
alive.
I'm really
It's
worried
2-2,
about the
right?
series against OKC, but I do think I do
Oh.
almost hope that, like, in my head, I'm praying that they were like, oh, well, that was so easy. You know, we just beat the shit out of the Grizzlies. I'm almost hoping that, because I do believe that Clippers and like the Nuggets are both equally like comparable. Like, I think we both are
much
a
so.
great team. You know what I mean? Like, we're going back and forth. Like, so I think either one of us could give them like a run for their money.
yeah.
So I hope that maybe like, they were put into like a false sense of security thinking that this is going to be super easy for them. Cause again, like I always put like experience and playoff experience over being young. And I know, like some players know how to rise, but I mean, last year they really struggled in round 2. Like they did the same thing last year. Didn't they sweep last year in first round?
Well, they played the Pelicans in the first round last year.
They did,
They had no experience. They had no playoff experience.
Well,
whatsoever.
the Grizzlies had given up before they even got to the first round. So,
and the Grizzlies fired their coach. They
And
had their star
the
player.
Grizzlies
injured.
would have
They would have
won.
won that game. I think maybe
Shaw
even game
didn't get
4 they could have won.
undercut.
I mean, they could have
it's
even
tough.
won this game. Listen,
exactly.
when
So
you
that's-
foul, I understand as a coach, you're just trying to win the game, but fouling up 3, I just feel like the basketball gods are coming for
It's a
you.
bad choice.
It's bad luck. Bad choice.
Cheater, pumpkin eater. You have an elite defense. Use it for 16 seconds,
Yeah,
you
right?
little weenie. You don't need to foul.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, elite/dirty defense. I don't know. Lou Dort was like, I slid or whatever. I'm like, yeah, and now John Morant's out. Like,
Oh,
was-
man.
tomato,
There have
tomato,
been
Lou
so
Dort.
many scary plays on defense.
I have a question for all of you. Do you
Yes.
guys
Ready.
seen the Michael Porter running off the bench during the scuffle noise about how he might be suspended for Game 5?
Oh, because he
Because he ran
came
off
off
of
the
the bench.
bench.
Yeah.
Damn it, Michael.
I didn't know. Okay, I'm so glad you just explained that because Katie, I guess, asked him and he was like, oh, sorry, I like didn't know. So there's a rule that you can't come off the bench during a scuffle or what?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you just have to sit there and
So
watch your guys get chippy?
here's the NBA rulebook. So he clearly left the bench. So
Yeah.
this is like a big development if it
What?
actually leads to a suspension. The rulebook says all players not participating in the game must remain in the immediate vicinity of their bench. So it's changed slightly to not say you can't leave your bench and step on the court, which is that it used to be the rule. It's immediate vicinity. So it's kind of up to like the NBA's interpretation.
Where did he go?
Oh,
did he go to the fight?
He wasn't
He
even
sprinted
close
to-
anybody.
Oh,
But
he wasn't?
He wasn't close to the players. I would say he probably took 5 steps onto the court.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then a coach pulled him back in.
Oh, but
And,
but remember that fight? Like, what was it? A few weeks ago or like a month ago with the Pistons huge scuffle, whatever they got into.
Mhm.
Didn't a bunch of them like get off the bench and like go over to the
I'm
tussle?
not sure. I didn't see if anyone had left the bench, but that's something to keep your eyes on.
I don't
Pretty
think
big
he was
development.
suspended.
I don't think they'll suspend him for that especially if he didn't get involved. I think it would be a much bigger
Clippers
deal if
fans
he
are-
had gotten involved.
Clippers fans are going crazy
Well,
about it right now. So
do they
it's-
have
Womp
fans?
womp.
I'm sure they would
Who are
love
these?
that.
Are
Yeah.
these, I think they're Lakers fans burners. Okay, like let's be real. I got in the Uber today.
Period.
I literally got in my Uber today, and the guy asked me, because I had my Nuggets hat on, are the Nuggets playing today? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, who are they playing? And I was like, the Clippers. It's the playoffs. And he was like, oh, they're playing my team then.
That's my team.
Oh, I saw that. What the?
And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, it's hard to follow them these days though, because everyone's injured. And like we had Westbrook, and I was like, the Nuggets have Westbrook now. Like I was like, are you a fan? Like what? And who is an NBA casual calling themselves a Clippers fan? Like at least say you're like a Warriors fan if you're a casual, like or a Celtics fan.
I do have to
And
shout
the
out. I do have to shout out
Clippers.
Intuit Dome. That was pretty lit in that fourth quarter.
It was, it was
Yeah.
crazy in there.
I have to give him a little bit of credit. That was a pretty good atmosphere.
That's what my grandpa said when we were watching the game. He was
Yeah.
watching me look like a fool the whole time, but when they went on that run, it came back and it did like a pan of the crowd. He's like, "Oh, great! The crowd is so in it right now."
Great. They're
Okay.
happy.
Aw.
They're
I know.
cheering.
Every person was waving a towel, and I was like,
Every fan has such a
Open
good
my eyes
access
at
to the
pieces.
court in that arena. It's insane. Everyone
yeah,
has
like a
such
good
view.
view. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I really
It's
hate.
deep.
I hate when it's games like that though, when like, it's like Jokic making 6 shots and then AG doing that and like the crowd is like silent because it's not their team. And I'm
Oh,
like, I
so
just want
amazing.
everyone in there to be screaming.
Why are we
like-
all not screaming?
I had a buddy of mine who played at a pretty big school, Division I, and he said it felt way better to make a big time like clutch shot at an away game than at a home game.
Interesting.
I'm not really sure.
To silent people, maybe
I-
like to
I-
silence
like
them.
like we said, we played in high school all 4 years, so we had big crowds at home. I like the home crowds more myself, but there's
Same.
levels to this, that's
There's levels to
5,000
this.
versus 20,000, in a stadium. And so, yeah, he just thought the silencing of a crowd was a lot.
When everyone's
more
like cheering and then you make a big shot and they shut up. I can see that. Like
Yeah.
when they're all loud and then you shut them
Quiet.
up.
Yeah.
That's my favorite's like when my favorite celebration that
Yeah.
like one of our players has done was when Jamal like does this to their coach.
Yeah.
He's done that like twice and
Makes
that's
him call a timeout.
sick. Or tells
that
him
is
he's
sick.
like, you should
That is
probably call a timeout. I would love to get that version of Jamal on the next game. So we're coming back to Denver. We'll talk about this and then we'll let everyone go back to their lives. Anyway, so we're coming back to Denver. How do you guys feel coming into the game?
Good.
Good. Home crowd's gonna be buzzing. I feel like they got
Oh,
Series
it's gonna be
is
good.
tied.
Yeah.
All we got to
Gonna-
do is win 2 of 3.
like let's look back historically at Game 5 Nuggets. They're pretty freaking good.
Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Game 5 Jokic last year, he had probably the best game of his career against Minnesota. in Game 5.
42.
40-point triple-double, yeah. It's
I
pretty-
need Jamal
pretty
to
insane.
show
on Rudy's head too.
on his head.
So
There-
I feel really good. I don't know if I feel good about them winning the series still.
Yeah, I still don't feel great.
I think it's probably going to go to a Game 7.
How do
Again,
Clippers fans
That's
feel?
just insanely.
Yeah, we have a
nerve-wracking for
Clippers
me.
fan in the
Yeah.
chat. I'm
AJ,
sure they're more.
How do you
I
feel
mean,
about Game 5?
yeah, KJ, you have
Yeah,
Because
listen.
we'll see.
KJ.
Once you
Just
have
kidding.
to me, if I have Kawhi playing like he's been playing and James Harden and Zubats, I would be pretty confident. Because for me, I'm like, yeah, we have Jokic, and then it's whoever else decides to maybe show up that day, and you never know
If
for
someone,
sure who
if
it's going to
someone
be.
does.
Yeah, it could be hard for the defense. Hey, maybe this guy's going to be good. Maybe he's going to suck. totally.
One reason I like Nuggets in Game 5 is because they have 2 days of rest, so they get a little bit of
Yeah.
recovery.
Yeah.
Although they're not a good team with rest.
With rest?
which is
With rest?
which is super weird to
It's
me.
so weird, like so weird. They're so
This
bad.
isn't like real rest. It's not like all-star break
Yeah,
rest.
2 days isn't big of a
I
deal.
just-
No,
I
when they've
just-
had like 4 days in the regular season, though, they'll still suck. Like 4
Their
days
record
later.
their record with 2 days or more off this season is like drastically
Atrocious.
worse
That's
than their
so
just
embarrassing.
back-to-back.
It's
yeah,
like they want
Yo-
to play
Like
more.
I actually hate resting.
I feel pretty good. We proved we could win in Denver, but we will see. I mean, did you really prove
That
you
is
could win in
true.
Denver? I mean,
that was
is a
Mhm.
toss-up game. It could have gone either way. I don't know.
just like game
Yeah,
one.
they
It was
won.
a toss-up game.
They won.
they
Game
won. They did win. They did.
Yeah, game one.
See,
and
I was
game
gonna
two
say
very
it's like
much
the
for
same
me.
thing for us tonight. Like
Yeah.
tonight
Yeah.
easily could have been a toss up. I don't know if we would have won if we went into overtime.
I was saying
Absolutely not.
no.
No.
Please, no
They were
overtime.
done. They were so
Yeah.
done. Like Jokic
Yeah.
was done. It was like in game 7 when when they started giving up the lead and Jokic just started. Once you saw Jokic start chucking threes, you knew it was over because you
Yeah.
knew his legs were gassed. He was so over it, and yeah, that was yeah.
Yeah, I wish it was on
I do
Monday.
too.
He was saying.
Me
I
too.
didn't- I was-
There was this good quote that I found. I gotta end my take with this. But this is the Denver Nuggets just in a nutshell. Hold on, let me find it. So Matt Moore from Locked On Nuggets. He
Yeah.
said this after the game today. You are only putting these dudes in the grave when you've got dirt on top. I loved that. I thought that was amazing.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
That's
That's
this
some
Nuggets
Jokic
team.
type
You just can't kill 'em.
poetry.
You just cannot kill him.
Hey,
It will
Jimmy,
go
Chill,
back to that.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh my
with
gosh!
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Say it again. Say it
Yeah.
again. Say it slower.
All right.
Say it
It
again.
You are only putting these dudes in the grave when you've got the dirt on top.
Ooh!
There's no dirt. There's no dirt on these fellas. Not yet.
Not on these fellas.
Need to make
Oh,
a-
wait,
Shout
not
out Jeremy
tomorrow.
Nichols, my guy.
What's
I love
up?
Jeremy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, popping in at the last second. Anyway, thank you
Yeah, we're
so
about
much.
to leave. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thanks so much, Will and Brendan, for coming on. If
Yeah,
y'all
thanks for hanging
haven't
out.
checked them out yet, they are
Sports
on
Shorts.
Twitter. sports shorts. We were just on there on your latest episode. You haven't filmed since then, right?
Wednesday,
Nope, we haven't
Tuesday,
filmed.
Wednesday.
That felt like a year ago. Even it was
did.
like probably 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So much has happened, but anyway, I had so much fun again talking with you guys. So glad you got to come on such short notice, and
Yeah. Thanks so much. Always fun.
Go Nuggets.
Go
Go
Nuggets, baby.
I'm sure we'll be
Warriors.
talking more
Oh yeah,
on Tuesday.
I'm warming up. All right.
Be ready.
Adios, everyone. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our channel and
Go to
their
YouTube
channel.
and subscribe right now.
Yeah, if you're on Twitter,
it.
go to YouTube and subscribe right now,
But-
please. Yeah, hit the button. Anyway,
Hit the button.